Hello, my beautiful friends. Welcome back to episode 238. We are in part 3 of the Built Not Busy series, and today we're going to be talking about what I like to call your ghost season. It's like the season where you go ghost and it seems like nothing's happening at all. Like, this is piggybacking off of last week when we talked about, like, I'm not broke, I'm building. But this is more so the emotional side of, like, what's happening in this chapter. And I just want to normalize it for you because it's probably the easiest chapter to be completely stuck in your head wondering, is this normal? We're going to call this part of the series the season nobody sees. This is the stretch of your life where you're building, you're grinding, you're putting in the hours, you are learning the skills, but there is not wins to post yet. The wins are so teeny tiny that you're like, shouldn't more be happening by now? You have no clear title, you have no clear path to success. You're just out here figuring it out. And because of that, it can feel really weird to even call yourself a business owner, maybe, or even call yourself a web designer, or call yourself a coach, because you're just in the thick of the figuring it out part and you still have no idea, are people going to hire me to do this service? Is this thing actually going to work? So the first frustrating thing about your invisible ghost season is that it doesn't photograph well. It's like, it's me on my laptop, and then me on my laptop, and then me on my laptop, and then me on my laptop. And then, oh yeah, me on my laptop. And I probably don't even look like this. I probably look something more like this at nearly all times. And I probably don't have makeup on most of the times. And so not only is there nothing to photograph, I also don't really want to show me looking like this 15 days in a row. You know what I'm saying? So it's worse than this when I'm in this phase, just so you guys know. This is simply a messy bun on a normal day. But like, it's bad. I'm like, I am not getting on my story like this. So it's not aesthetic, it doesn't photograph well, and you can only post so many laptop, latte, and keyboard shots before you kind of start to lose your mind. The second frustration about this building season and this ghost season is that there is zero external validation. If you're lucky, your partner or your dog will encourage you, but there's probably not even a whole lot of that because no one really believes you yet. There's nothing to show them. So you're just like that weird kid working on your laptop. That's literally just what it feels like. Meanwhile, you're probably doing some of the deepest work of your life on yourself. You're trying to figure out what's going on internally. Why do you feel like such an imposter? Is this thing gonna work? Overcome doubts and fears, learn new skills, master your schedule, still work out, still get 10K steps, still drink your water, still talk to your spouse, etc. And it's just one of those things where you really just question it all. Like, and how do you say that when someone says like, hey, how are you? You're like, well, I'm good, but I'm questioning my entire life. How are you? Right? It's not something you really share. Also, you guys, I'm just taking a sip of water, but I need to let you guys know that I got this new Stanley cup. I unfortunately am such a cup girl. I wish I wasn't. I usually let myself get like one new cup a year, but I haven't gotten one for like the past 3 years. So this year I let myself get 3, and now I'm cut off. We got the rose gold one, this one, the checkerboard one. This is not sponsored. I'm just excited. And by golly, it matches the little logo on my shirt. So there's that. Anyway, it's not spring outside in Montana, but in my heart it is, okay? Okay, and then my last frustration about this season of life, thanks for letting me take a little intermission and talk about my water bottle like a third grader, is that people just assume that you're doing nothing. They're like, oh, you have time, right? And you're like, actually, no, I have no time. I'm actually working on something that's not paying me yet. And so I'm still working my normal thing while I'm building this thing, most likely. Or I'm trying not to do anything because I just need to focus on making money. Thanks so much. These are the frustrations that you are probably feeling as you're in your ghost season. Just go ghost and just lock in, and this is how it typically feels. So if you feel this way, nothing's wrong with you. But do you guys know like how necessary this season is? And do you have an appreciation and a reverence for the season that you're in? Because I hope that you do. There's so much skill building and resourcefulness that you're literally forced to grow into here. Like, not only do you have to develop the skill of like your skill, whatever it is you're going to be offering to the world, but you also have to develop like the skill of scheduling, the skill of saying no and setting boundaries, the skill of time management, the skill of standards and what you deem complete versus ready to hand off to a client versus incomplete. Like, you're wrestling through so many things that are messy, but worth wrestling through. If you're doing it right, you're probably having some identity shifts. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I've been operating in this way. I need to be operating in this way. And you're nose to nose with the growth at hand. You're doing some of this deeper inner work. Entrepreneurship is like the greatest personal growth exercise there ever was. You are probably reevaluating your relationship with work, with discipline, and with money. And none of that is easy either. And these are things that you're not just going to have to do once. I can't tell you how many times I've reworked my schedule or reconsidered a boundary or had to come up with a new space, right? I've moved. And so there's these different elements, which by the way, doesn't the studio look so good today? It's like such good lighting in here because it's 4:12 p.m. and it's not getting dark out at 5 p.m. anymore. So yay. Super, super stoked about that. Anyway, these are not things that you're gonna just figure out once and set it and forget it. These are things you're probably gonna have to revisit, and isn't that beautiful, right? So you're building a skill that you're gonna use again later. Then let's peel it back a layer further and let's talk about the emotional reality. There's the fear. There's the, is this gonna work? There's the, am I cut out for this? There's the, would they really pay someone like me? There's the, can I pull this off long term? There's the comparison, right? My competitors, my friends, my parents, my coworkers, my whatever. There's the feeling left behind. There's you're watching your friends buy houses or have babies or get married or start their business, and you're like, is that ever gonna happen for me? This is all totally normal. I want you to just like note this. I'm not trying to be negative. It is simply a part of it. It's just a part of it. And you might be watching other people like have visible milestones that they're externally celebrated for. People know to call you and say congratulations when you get a promotion or you get hired or you get engaged or you have a baby. People don't know to call you and celebrate when you get your first customer in your online business. People don't know to call and celebrate when you fire your first team member. They're like, they have no idea how to celebrate you because most people have never done this. So it's gonna feel lonely. You're gonna have to celebrate yourself. You're gonna have to get used to like it not being the way it is for others for you. But I also want you to not overlook the fact that you probably have a lot of peace because you're doing this thing that you feel you were meant to do. You probably have a lot of empowerment because you get to make your own schedule or at least determine your own prices. You have some form of autonomy. What you wear, how you show up is up to you. You probably have a peace knowing that you're not just living the same year 75 times and calling it a life and punching a clock and working for a boss and staying stuck and staying stagnant, but you're growing and you're experiencing new things. And it's like Dave Ramsey always says, like, I'm going to do things people will never do so that I can do things people will never do. Like, he actually says, I'm going to live like others won't so I can live like others can't or something like that. But anyway, the same idea is like, I find tremendous fulfillment knowing that the path that I walk is not the path that most people walk. And the cost or the downside of walking that path is like this big compared to the benefit and the plus side of walking this path is like, due to life on my own terms, like, I don't think there is anything better. A life getting paid to do what I love and like call it work, like, I don't think there is anything better. And so you're going to have to learn to reframe that. And that's going to be hard initially. And then it's going to get way easier. Okay, let's talk results, proof, impressions. A lot of times, the temptation in this chapter of your journey, you are rushing to have proof. Like you just want that client testimonial or you just want that finished portfolio piece. Don't rush the process. I would rather have you have one that you're truly proud of than eke one out, just eke one out. And I know that you're in a hurry to show people what you're working on. And I know that it's tempting to just quick make a portfolio piece, but that is not how legends are built, my friends. So resist the temptation there. I also know that you're going to want to have proof, like, see, it's working. See, I made money. And you're probably going to want to flaunt that. If you're anything like me, I remember having my first 10K month and being like, do I tell the internet that I had a 10K month? The answer is no, I did not. I waited until I had 3 10K months in a row and then I started talking about it because it felt more stable and I wanted to share that with like my core group of people. And the way you share that is, hey, can I share a really big milestone in online business? It's a big deal when you start having 5-figure months. And I just had my first 5-figure month. Now the person knows how to celebrate you. Otherwise they're like, okay. And then I also would stress to mention to them that that doesn't mean you put $10,000 in your pocket. I remember like people being like, oh my gosh, you probably have so much money now. You're like on track to make 6 figures. And I was like, not really. Like, 6K of that was business expenses, but like, thanks. You know what I mean? But it's still a big deal when you start getting paid 5 figures a month to do the thing that you love to do, right? And for you, it might be a different number. But for me, in online coaching, I was like stoked when I started hitting like 9,500, 10.7, 10.2, 11.3. And I remember doing that like back to back to back. And I was like, oh my gosh, it's working. This is crazy. And that was in 2020. And so I just had rounded a bend from like, I think it might work to like, it's going to work. And it was so powerful. I know how that proof makes you feel. I know the confidence that starts to come through. Don't rush it. Don't rush to have a finished portfolio piece. Don't rush to have a track record. Just focus on becoming the person who would naturally have those things. And then impressions. This is like, what type of impression does this give? What type of lifestyle am I painting? Do not over embellish or you're going to feel like you're faking it every single day. Like, I see so many people quit their job and they start posting as an entrepreneur. They're like, I work from anywhere I want. It's like, your business may have only made like $1,000 this month because you just started, and that's totally okay. I'm not saying don't celebrate, but I'm saying don't get up on your high horse too quick. You're going to feel like you're role playing another person's life. I would rather you focus on becoming the person who really creates that life and come from this authentic place. It's going to feel so much better for you. It's going to feel so much better for your audience. All the things. Just be humble and still be grateful and still document the journey. I'm not saying don't do those things. I'm just saying do them in a light where you don't feel like you're faking it, because you don't have to fake it. You don't have to prove it to anybody. You don't owe anyone a portfolio. Like, take your time and become the person that is like truly unignorable because you're really good at what you do. So let's talk building versus hiding. When you are truly building, you are showing up consistently. You are posting consistently, right? Creating conversations. You're in those hard conversations. You're also just putting yourself out there more. You are making moves with the long term in mind. You are being strategic. You're not just throwing spaghetti at the wall. You may be taking messy action, but you are like, I'm going to take this action and then I'm going to see A, B, and C. Did it do X, Y, Z, right? You're going to analyze it. You're going to utilize it. You're going to pivot. You're going to move forward. You're going to act like a business person. If you are hiding or you're being a wantrepreneur, as I like to say, if you're faking it, you'll know it because you're constantly procrastinating, you're constantly in a pattern of avoidance, you're constantly scrolling, you're constantly numbing, and you're just living this fantasy, but you're not actually taking the action, analyzing the action, getting better at your skills, building relationships. You're just kind of like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. It's like, what makes you an entrepreneur? Define that for yourself. I'm not going to give you an answer there. Go sit down and write success as an entrepreneur to me means blank, 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 blank. You're going to want to come back to that, my friends. You're going to feel like nothing's happening, just like in the gym. And then all of a sudden, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I had 3 clients this month. I had 4, I had 5. It's going to build. You're in a building phase. You're not in a doing nothing phase. You need to go ghost and lock in for this season and almost turn your brain off where these little fears and imposter syndrome and things come up. You got to be like, yep, passenger seat with you, passenger seat with you anxiety, passenger seat with you fear. I see you, I hear you, but I cannot let you drive this train, okay? Or this car or whatever, this Lamborghini, whatever it is that motivates you in your mind. I need you to understand this is normal. That was the whole point of this episode, is to say, hey, if you're experiencing these things, normal, common, it's not going to feel like this forever. I am always reiterating and always creating a new version of these things, right? Standards, conversations, SOPs, offerings, all these things. The next 90 days, one of my goals is to work as much as possible and bank as much money as possible and create as much clarity as possible and just run full speed at my goals, see what happens. Part of that is me relentlessly posting content even when I don't feel like it. You heard it here first. I don't always feel like it, okay? Today I feel like it. Today I'm in a great mood. Other days, not so much. In order to relentlessly post content, I have to be strategic about it. So on Saturday, if you are seeing this, there will be a replay available if you're seeing this late. If you're seeing this in real time on February 18th, when it drops, it's not too late to sign up. We're going to be having a content party. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to analyze market trends. I'm going to decide which ones I want to participate in. I'm going to redo my lookbook. So I'm not touching my logo, but fonts and colors. I'm going to redo my content pillars or update them. And then I'm going to put together a content strategy and a plan to batch it, because I have 4 hours a month to work on content. That's it. And so I want to show you guys what someone who's proficient, efficient, and clear looks like in real time. I'm going to do this live on a live podcast. Next week's episode will be that podcast replay, just so you know. But it's going to be really cool because we're going to section it off so you can actually follow along with this if you feel so inclined. There'll be a workbook that goes with it that I'll be putting out probably in 2 weeks. So replay first, workbook second. But watching someone go through this is so helpful. This is what I wish I had, right? I wish that I could have watched someone create their content strategy from scratch, somebody who knew the market, somebody who understood lead generation, somebody who understood sales and marketing, and just watch what they do. You don't have to understand it all to imitate it and do it for yourself. You can see what it does, you can pivot and adjust from there. The market will always tell you what it wants more of. So just creating from this place and realizing I don't want to keep this to myself. So we're having a content party. So Saturday, I'm redoing my content strategy. You get to watch, you get to follow along. I am stoked for this. It should not be free, but it is. You're welcome. I love you. And we're going to be doing that. So please come. And if you can't make it live, still sign up. The replay will be sent. The replay will also be next week's podcast episode, like I said. And I'm stoked to do this in front of you guys. This takes a tremendous amount of courage, vulnerability, and proficiency to be able to just do it live and have the confidence to be like, yeah, it'll be done in 2.5 hours. So I'm bringing you guys with me. Come sit in my office, so to speak, and we'll be ripping and running for about 2.5 hours. This is the type of thing you can totally pause, get a drink of water, go for a walk, just listen the first time, follow along the second time you watch it. Like, that's why it's going to be a resource. It is a project and a half. Just because I can do it in 2.5 hours doesn't mean I expect you to do it in 2.5 hours, but I'm excited. So once we have a strategy, then we can actually post and know that we're being worthwhile and effortful, not effortless, in our content. And I'm super stoked. So I'll see you guys there. Mwah! And I'll see you guys also for part 4 of this series in 2 weeks. So we're going to take a little pause. We did part 1, 2, 3. We're going to do the content party, and then we'll have parts 4, 5, and 6. See ya.